Hey everyone, have I here been a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be going over the updated Worldwide Celebration timeline, focusing on part 2. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So a lot of information dropped over the weekend, and it forced me to have to make sure that I update the previous timeline video that I did, because a lot of stuff seemingly is coming a little bit earlier than I expected, and then now with more information, it seems like we're going to be getting units that I originally predicted but had this contrarian view, which I'll cover a little bit in this video again. But ultimately, you know, part 2 is looking pretty clear cut, and then we'll dive a little bit into part 3 and the remaining portions of the celebration. So currently right now, we are celebrating part 1, right? Amazing Dokkan Festival exclusive LRGGT and also Carnival Broly. We just got the little underwhelming, you know, but situationally useful EZA to Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, the Int Dokkan Festival exclusive one. Now we're moving into part 2. Now this full Worldwide Celebration does end on Wednesday 10/2, I guess 10/3 depending on your time zone. But now we again know more information, so when part 2 is actually going to start, and it's going to start several days, well, not several, but a few days earlier than what I expected. I thought the celebration was going to start around the 12th and the banners dropping the 13th. I still think the banners will drop on the 13th. We'll talk about that in a second. But it seems like September 9th is when the celebration is actually going to begin. And we're going to get on September 9th, you know, the missions and, you know, all the immediate login bonuses and things of that nature. Then also get the new units and the EZA, technically, you know, depending on your time zone, the same day, September 10th versus September 9th. You can see September 9th, 11 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time, and then 1 a.m. on September 10th for the EZA to the Tech LR Super Saiyan Broly, which it's an amazing unit transform, but again, just dealing with that that base form, kind of going back to a little bit of the I won't say old school days, but you know, years before, where you know, you're just really wanting to transform this unit to make sure they get better. I guess most recent actually was last year with Vegito Blue, but anyway, this is what we ended up finding out in the data download, and of course we are now ultimately moving into part 2, and it makes a lot of sense. It's all generally focused on movie 10, The Second Coming. So it seems like this campaign basically is just going to go through all 3 of these movies. Part 1 is movie 8, part 2 movie 10, and then Bio Broly in part 3. That's what seemingly is going to happen. Again, a little bit of speculation from all that. Now, in the data download, again, we're starting on 9/9 with the new free-to-play Super Saiyan Trunks. We have the EZA to Movie Hero Videl. 9/10 is the EZA to Tech Broly. And then we move on to the Worldwide Campaign announcement video, which was originally scheduled for 9/11, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and then they ended up changing it to 9/10, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is 7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. So they're bringing this a little bit earlier, which makes me believe that they're going to literally do the exact same thing as last time. And we're going to get this announcement video, which is going to be a little bit of a tease, going to get card arts, maybe a little bit of information on the details, but probably just card arts like last time, and then get a new Dokkan Now video probably on the 12th. All right, that's what I'm expecting. So a couple days from this broadcast, we'll have Dokkan Now, and I think this is going to be a more common thing. Just tease after tease after, you know, hype buildup, right? So expect 9/10, 9/9, 9/10, part 2 for it to start. We have the announcement video for the new units, 9/12 Dokkan Now, data download, 9/12, somewhere around there, or 9/13, and then 9/13 is when I expect the banners to be dropping. So yeah, that's in a nutshell the timeline video for kind of precursor to the banner units. But now, of course, I again expecting 9/13. The reason why I'm expecting 9/13 is that's when the reset happens for the buy 3 get 1 free, the Dragon Stones, all that stuff ends from part 1 on 9/13. And generally speaking, right, it all happens, seamlessly, right? It's going to transfer from part 1 to part 2, and normally you don't see the buy 3 get 1 free continuing on when the new banners come out. Now, again, that is using previous history. They could literally change that and give you maybe one more extra day, so the banners could end up dropping on the 12th, right, and give you one extra day on there. And I'll explain to you maybe a little bit why they end up doing that. Now, again, since everything is now looking more toward movie 10, it seems like most likely we're going to be getting a Dokkan Festival exclusive Int Legendary Super Saiyan Broly from movie 10. That's what it seems like it's going to be, because the EZA to the tech version is actually a Super Saiyan that transforms into Legendary Super Saiyan. This is going to be a standalone from the start. That's what most likely is going to happen. And then the Carnival unit is most likely going to be Family Kamehameha, with probably Gohan being the featured unit or the featured character in the Family Kamehameha. That's what most likely seemingly in part 2. Now, the banner unit could be a kind of a toss-up here, right? It could be, Trunks and Goten from movie 10. It could be movie hero Videl. It could be all three, like kind of a combination banner unit. But what I'm thinking is it just might be a Goten unit, because we're getting a free-to-play Trunks. We're getting the EZA to the Videl, right? So it just might be a standalone with possibly, I would hate for them to do this unit super attack with Videl and Trunks, because they're like, when are you going to run those units on a particular team? But I think this is, again, most likely what might happen. Again, it could be just a combination of the three, but I think that's probably what the banner unit's going to look like. Now, let's talk about my contrarian view. What I did a video about a little over a week ago now, and I said there's not going to be another Broly summonable unit for part 2, right? Or Legendary Super Saiyan Broly. I think that was the key term. We're not going to get a Legendary Super Saiyan Broly summonable. And again, I think it's most likely, right? But my contrarian view was, because we've only, over the 9 years this happened, we've only had one Extreme Dokkan Festival exclusive class unit for Dokkan every single year. One Dokkan Festival exclusive Extreme class. Now, if they're going to break that mold, they're going to break it this year, and we're going to actually have two, and both of them are going to be Broly's, right? So, another thing was, on my contrarian view, was I was thinking they're going to also combine the third Bio Broly movie, a part of this as well, making maybe a Carnival featured, Goten Trunks 18 type of unit there. So, again, contrarian view. And then also EZA to the boys for part 3. I think that's still going to happen. And then the new speculation for me as well, if we weren't going to get that, then maybe they're just going to drop a summonable unit. And here's the reason why. And here's also the reason why they might end up dropping the banners before 9/13. So you still have maybe one more day to summon on the old banners with the buy 3 get 1 free on top of that. If we read this correctly, right, and the new World Celebration Dragon Stones is still transferable from part 1 to part 2, I think that's where a lot of people heard from the announcement video, then you can still summon on part 1 if you don't like the units on part 2 that you're like, okay, I wasn't able to get it on in part 1. I'm still going to summon on that. I'm going to still use then the coins to pick up a particular unit in part 2, right? So if that is transferable from part 1 part 2, and we're not going to get quote unquote new Worldwide Celebration coins for transferable to pick up new units, then they might end up actually doing that, and that'll be a first. And I think this is a positive thing for players that just can't afford to spend on all 4 banners, and they just want to focus on one banner, and they want to pick up that particular unit, whether it's LRGGT or LR Tech Broly, right? 2 amazing units. So if that were to happen, then they would say, well, then we're just going to throw a new banner in, and this could be a yellow coin banner for Bio Broly, right? That's the new speculation here, that they're going to drop in maybe like the 23rd or something like that, for because of these coins are going to be associated from part 1 and part 2, and it's interchangeable. Then this new pity, right, your old pity here, you can have another banner to spend more dragon stones and buy more stones, right? So, and that makes a lot of sense here, so that, you know, for currently right now we're in the dual category key plus 4 yellow coin LRs, and this would fit right here in this spot here for Bio Broly. This would make a lot more sense for Bio Broly, right? I don't really think a lot of people were thinking Bio Broly is going to be a Dokkan Festival exclusive. I thought it was kind of initially when I saw the initial preview, but it makes more sense for it to be a yellow coin LR than a Dokkan Festival exclusive. So then most likely it could look then something like this with the EZA, and then questionable mark on a possible another banner for a yellow coin LR. Again, the reason why is because of this new coin system and kind of creating a pity system across all 4 banners of the Dual Dokkan Fest and the Dual Carnival. This makes a lot of sense for them to drop this additional banner in the celebration for Bio Broly. And I'm okay with Bio Broly getting a yellow coin LR. Dokkan Festival exclusive one was kind of wild to think about. And if let's say the Bio Broly is as good as a Cell Max, and it's kind of a similarity with Cell Max, 150% uncontrollable power, and then you can kind of make that a leader, but that unit is just incredibly strong. I think that is an interesting option, right? So that's kind of a new speculation in terms of the timeline here. But anyway, let's kind of just finish up here and move on. So I don't know exactly what we're gonna get in the banner, so let's just, you know, keep that question marks there. Possible Bio Broly. And then something else came about, and I might make a totally separate video about it, is that I was expecting the Super Extreme or the Super EZA to do for the OG Dokkan Festival exclusive STR Broly, but it seems like there might be a cause for a Super EZA for the LR Broly, which is technically the first bannered featured bannered LR ever in Dokkan. Both of these are extremely old, so both of these could be open for Super EZAs, and I don't see them doing another Broly celebration anytime soon. So then it would just make a lot of sense for them to go ahead and Super EZA both of these as well. Go Bros is also something that was in these new rewards, these skill orbs. And again, I just might make a completely different video on it, but it's very interesting. So we could get one or both of this. Again, full speculation. So what it looks like right now, right, just for date-wise, timeline-wise, is 9/10 is when part 2 technically starts with the EZA to the Tech LR Super Saiyan Broly. Then we're going to get the announcement video on the 10th, probably the preview around the 10th, the Twitter X previews on the 10th, 11th, data Dokkan Now on the 12th, data download on the 12th, 13th, and then banners on the 13th. Again, speculating if they were going to bring the banner earlier, which there is a high chance of them doing that because of the new coin system, then we might see it on the 11th or 12th. That gives us one day to summon on the other banner to associate with it. And then speculation on the 19th and the 23rd, possibly EZA to the boys. And then a possible, yellow coin Bio Broly. Makes sense there. And then just like last year where we're like, oh man, we're done. Boom, they ended up dropping a EZA. In this case, last year was the Rose, right? The yellow coin Rose. They dropped that literally on the last day of the celebration. right? And then moved on to the normal celebration in October, while that EZA was kind of in a sense going. So they might end up doing that for the Super EZAs here, and again, that would make a lot of sense. So there you have it. That is my updated Worldwide Celebration, primarily for Part 2, but looking at the entire celebration here, very, very interesting and seemingly fun if they were to, if this is what it looked like. How about this? Comment in the comment section below how you guys feel about the current celebration, what's going on timeline wise, and if it looked like this, right? If it looked like this with, you know, these units here, right? Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, Banner, Goten, and then Family Kamehameha, then EZA to the boys, Yellow Coin, Bio Broly, and one or both of the Super EZAs, would you guys be very happy about the celebration? Let me know, comment section below. If you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you all for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.